Let's talk about the three main ways that a senior, that you, can buy your forever home in retirement. One's going to be easy. It's to describe. It's just pay cash if you got a ton of it. The second is to use a traditional mortgage. And the third, which not many people know about, is to use a reverse mortgage. So there's pros and cons on each of them. And yes, my name is Jason Eichmiller, by the way. I run this channel, Reverse Mortgage Reality. I'm bullish on the reverse mortgage in some cases. So this is really going to be an unbiased kind of review on all three. And it's really up to your situation. Your situation and your needs are what dictates what decision you should make. So I'm going to try to break it down for you. If you have any questions after this, again, my name is Jason. You can reach out to me at 888-309-9705 or email me. My contact information is below. So let's get the easy one out of the way. Let's talk about buying cash. Very simple. Let's say you have an $800,000 house. You're looking to buy it in my community here in West Palm Beach, Florida, or Wellington, Florida. So you got $800,000. You write a check for $800,000. Boom, house is yours. That was easy. Challenges are, number one, you have to have $800,000. But number two, let's say that you do, you have to have way more than $800,000. And the reason is you need money. I talk about on this channel, and I really mean it, I talk about your retirement safety net. You need to have a substantial retirement safety net. So if you're in your 60s and you have $4 million or $3 million in assets, and your lifestyle isn't too extravagant, you think that you've got enough, you can certainly talk to me and I can help you run the numbers, or you talk to your financial advisor, you talk to your CPA and they say, hey, all right, paying this $800,000, taking this cash out, you're still going to be able to keep up your lifestyle in retirement, and you're still going to have a little bit left in the safety net, and you're not going to get taxed too heavily on the $800 that you take out of whatever account that you have, or you can handle the taxes. Then by all means, buy cash. You'll be able to close quicker. You won't deal with getting a mortgage. I make them pretty easy, but at the same time, buying cash is always easier, and you can negotiate better. So that's it. That's buying cash in a nutshell. If you've got a lot of money and I would have you check it with your CPA, with your financial advisor, and me, just to make sure that you're good to go. But if you're good to go, then God bless you. You've just bought your $800,000 house cash very quickly, easily. Chop, chop. So not a lot of people can do that, though. There may be, and I speak with folks all the time who have that money, they've got that $800,000 to put down, but they're worried that and their financial advisor is worried that it's too much, that it's going to be too much of a drain on their retirement accounts, and that they might, they plop that, let's say they've got 1.5 million or 1.6 million, suddenly they've taken half out, and then if they're taxed on the money, then they've taken more than half out. And if they're not in their 80s or 90s, then you have to survive the remainder of your retirement on, say, $700,000 or $800,000 or $600,000, and maybe your lifestyle is that money, you're afraid that money won't last through your entire retirement because your lifestyle is a certain way, and you retired for it to be your golden years, not the bronze penny years. So you're uncomfortable with that. So now you're down to two options because cash isn't the right option. So option number one is to get a regular mortgage, and option two is to get a reverse. So let's do we'll do the regular mortgage first because that's easier. Then we'll end, drum roll, we'll end on the reverse mortgage. So stick around. I think you'll learn something. So to get a regular mortgage, depending on where you're going to move, if you're moving into a condo, normally you've got to put at least 25% down. If you move into a single family home, for the most part, you've got to put 5% down, unless you're a single, unless you haven't owned a home in at least 3 years, or your spouse hasn't owned a home in at least 3 years, then you can be a first-time home buyer and you can put just 3% down. The reason for the 25% down for condos is, at least in the state of Florida, every state's a little bit different. So if you're in California or Pennsylvania, you might be able to get away with putting a little bit less down. But there's something called project reviews. In Florida, if you put down 25%, then you have what's called a limited condo review, which is just a lot easier. And sometimes if you do a full project review, there's documents that the condo association doesn't have, or they're being a pain in the butt, and you're not able to close. I've run into those problems before. So in Florida, it's 25%. In other states, it's normally 15 to 20%. Again, if you're buying a single family home, 5%, that's all you gotta do. So you're saving money. You're keeping money in your piggy bank, which means automatically you've got one heck of a retirement safety net, all right? That's the good side. The tough side for this is something called debt to income. So we're going to talk about why it's tough from a mortgage standpoint, and then we're going to talk about how it's tough from a lifestyle standpoint. Again, there's pros and cons to everything. I'm product agnostic. Yes, I've run the reverse mortgage channel. Yes, I've done this since 2008 and helped over 450 now seniors learn about and get reverse mortgages. But it doesn't mean that a reverse mortgage is an end-all be-all. There's different, as they say, different strokes for different folks. The situation will dictate the smartest thing to do. And then if we're smart, we do what the situation and math tells us to do, okay? So getting back to it, just had a little tirade there. So first of all, with your debt to income, when you have a mortgage, obviously that adds to your debt to income, and you've got to make sure that you can qualify for this payment. So if you're buying this as a second home, or if you're moving and you're keeping another residence, that other residence is going to contribute to your debt to income, okay? You have to make sure, and that's again why you talk to somebody like me who does both regular mortgages and reverse mortgages, because we can look at both together. We can kind of bounce them off of each other and say, okay, what's the smartest thing to do for retirement, and how can you qualify, how can you not qualify, what are your challenges, and a partridge in 17 pear trees. So debt to income is going to be one issue. Now what you can do is you can use your IRA or your 401k, basically your retirement accounts. You can use your retirement accounts as income. In a nutshell, you just have to make sure that you've got 3 years. So let's say you need $10,000 a month of income to qualify. You'll need 360. I'm going to go through this quick. Do another video specifically on this topic, but you'll need $360,000 in your IRA or 401k. You take a disbursement, you show that to your mortgage broker, and we present it to the right way to the underwriter, and suddenly you have $10,000 more of income. And you might qualify, you might be able to use that to qualify so your debt to income works. But then also, we have to look at lifestyle. Forget for a second what the mortgage company needs. What do you need? Does that additional expense, if you take on that additional expense, is that going to cramp your lifestyle? Are you going to be able to live with making that mortgage payment over and over? And if you're retired, it's going to be, as I say, forever and ever, amen. It's going to be for the rest of your life. Unless one day you decide to do a reverse mortgage, then the question is, do you have enough equity to do the reverse mortgage? But that's another rabbit hole we won't go down in this conversation. So with this topic, when you're looking at buying with a mortgage, again, just make sure, we have to make sure, first of all, the pro is that you're going to leave more money in your retirement accounts. Woohoo, right? You're not draining them, you're not getting taxed on it, you're keeping a bigger retirement safety net, which is what all of us want. But you just have to look at your debt to income, and you have to look at, number one, will the mortgage company be okay with it? That's my job. Number two, are you going to be okay with that additional payment? That's your job. It's also, I can help with that, your financial advisor can help with it, etc. So that is a traditional mortgage. Now the third option, I call it a tweener. The reverse mortgage for purchase is really, it's kind of in between a cash buying all cash and getting a mortgage. So with the reverse, you're going to put down a percentage of the purchase price. So let's say it's an $800,000 house. If you're in your 60s, you're going to put down somewhere between in the mid 500s on that $800,000 house. So let's say you put down $550,000. By the way, the older you are, the less you put down, the younger you are, the more you put down. If you want to know specifics, just feel free to reach out to me. I'll need your birth date. I'll need to know basically what the purchase price is and how much you have in your piggy bank. And then I can pretty easily, like in a couple seconds, help you figure out exactly how much, or within a couple $1,000s, how much you have to put down. So let's say it's a $800,000 purchase, you're in your 60s, you have to put down $550. Well, that means that, it's 800 minus 550. Quick math, guys, I just did that in my head. It's $250,000, right? 650, 750, 800. So that means the reverse mortgage is going to cover the extra $250, and that's inclusive of closing costs. So it's not like you're putting down the money and then you have the cost. That will encompass everything right there. So you saved your retirement account $250,000. But on the other hand, you did put down $550. So the same thing, same advice as I gave when we talked about an all cash buyer. You have to talk to your, you don't have to do anything, but I would advise that you talk to your financial advisor, maybe your CPA, definitely me, and say, hey, if I take $550,000 out of my retirement account, does the money that I have left over, is that enough to live? If yes, awesome. We do the reverse. Very easy. But if not, then you might want to think about a conventional, or you might want to think about buying kind of a lower priced home. So back to that. So that's just make sure that you can, not only that you're not really worried about affording it because you don't have to make a mortgage payment with the reverse. By the way, that's why one of the reasons why everybody wants to get them is because if you don't have to pay the mortgage, then, you can, it's flexible. If you want to make any payment at any time, you can. But if you don't have to, then your cash flow is just so drastically improved. And if you're buying your dream home and cash flow is an issue, well then, man, what could you use another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month on, right? You could probably put that to good use. You could live a better life, a more enjoyable lifestyle. You could put it back into your savings and investments. You can treat the grandkids, save up for, just continue to keep that retirement safety net pretty big. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why you wouldn't want to make a mortgage payment if you didn't have to. So that's the reverse mortgage for purchase right there. And again, this is a 10,000-foot view. I've got videos on the reverse mortgage for purchase on this channel. But basically, you're going to put down, depending on your age, a little bit more than 50. Normally, it's between about 45 and 70% of the purchase price. You put that down. The reverse mortgage carries the rest. You are putting down kind of a substantial amount of the purchase price, but not all. So you're saving a little bit of money, and your cash flow. Man, there's nothing like not making a mortgage payment. Now you do have to pay your property taxes, and you do have to pay your homeowner's insurance or your HOA. You do have to keep the house as your primary residence. That's something that everybody understands because you still own it with a reverse for purchase. But your upside is your cash flow is just significantly improved, and you keep some money in your piggy bank. So that's the summary. That's all three. So what's right for you? I don't know. That's where, if I were you, I'd pick up the phone. If you're looking to move, you're looking to buy your forever home. Oh, I should also say that obviously cash, you can buy any sort of property. You can buy a second, you can buy a vacation. Conventional, you can buy a secondary or vacation home. The rates aren't as good when you buy a secondary as a primary, but you can still do it. With a reverse, it has to be your primary. Okay, you do have to occupy it as your primary. If you're buying a condo, then you just have to make sure that either the condo is eligible for FHA financing, or that the condo association is going to kind of jump through the hoops to get approved. And normally when you're buying, you've got about a 30 or 45 day window for the contract to come true. That's really tough, borders on impossible to get the thing approved. So if it's a non-approved condo, probably the reverse isn't the way to go. So anyway, this is again, this is a summary. Didn't go over absolutely everything, but I wanted to get you thinking about, hey, this is my situation. I'm looking to buy my forever home or move or buy a second home, whatever it is. Here are my options. What should I do? Then again, I'm more than happy to speak with you to go over the upsides and downsides, pros and cons of each one of these options, right? Maybe you put down all cash. Maybe I don't make any money off of it, but you know what? It's good karma to do. And then if you know somebody who's looking to purchase or refinance or get a reverse, then probably recommend them over to me anyway. So that's my hidden agenda for this. If you're a cash buyer, hope that makes sense. But if you are, if you, after looking at everything, speaking with me, speaking with your financial advisor, maybe your CPA, if you decide to do a reverse, glad to help at the highest level. If you decide to do a traditional, glad to help. I can help at the highest level, but I'm an expert at both, so I can guide you. And again, I don't care whether you do a reverse or a traditional. It's just what's the smartest thing for you. I know I've probably said that about 17 times now. All right, so that's long enough for this. My name is Jason Eichmiller. My phone number, if you want to get in touch, it's 888-309-9705. Again, 888-309-9705. You can reach me at jason@keyhomelending.com. That'll be below, by the way. Or you can go to go to reversequotes.com, www.reversequotes.com. If you think you're looking for a reverse. Keyhome.life is my traditional mortgage website, or what the heck, go to either one of them, put your information in, and just under the comments section say, hey, I'm trying to decide what to do, and we'll get on the horn and we'll figure it out together. All right, I hope this helps. Yes, you have a lot of options. I'm very aware that this may have confused you a little bit, but it's good to have options. So if you need me, I'm more than happy to help, and we will, through speaking together. I'll ask you a lot of questions, but I'll give you a lot of information, but we will get clarity on the smartest avenue to take, whether it's buying all cash, whether it's buying with a traditional mortgage, or buying with a reverse mortgage. All right, take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll speak soon. Bye-bye.